Allison Prior, and today we're going to do a beautiful painting, a beautiful roses in a gorgeous vase. I'll show you a picture of that now in a minute. And we are going to get started by making a grid so that we can figure out where things go, because it's a little different in landscape, but I'll show you how to do that too. But today I'm going to use different colors today. Normally I use the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue, which I do have red, yellow, and blue on here, but I have a few different color yellows and just a few extra colors on there because we're going to be doing nice flowers and having nice colors. So I'll just show you the reference photo that I got from Pixabay. This will help you. So this is the picture that I got from Pixabay. Alright, so we are going to do our best to paint that today, and I'll make it as easy as I can for you. Just have three colors. I just have Maples Yellow Deep, and I have a light yellow and a medium yellow. So you can see there are different colors of yellow, and I just have Crimson Red and a nice bright red, okay? And I have Ultramarine Blue, and I have two different greens, which is sap green and a light green, and burnt sienna and burnt umber and black and white. So there they are. They're pretty. So let's see if we can get some nice colors on our flowers with that today. Mash that like button. That'll really help my channel grow so I can keep adding more videos for you. So the brushes we can use today are the synthetic brushes. I don't think we'll need a bristle brush today. I think we'll be okay with just some synthetic brushes, size 8, 12, depending on the size of your canvas. Mine is 11 by 14, and I got it a portrait, okay? That's a portrait way. Landscapes I usually do a landscape way. I turn it the other way for the landscape. So these are the brushes we're going to use today. So we have some synthetic brushes. I don't think we'll need some bristle brushes today, but I think it'd be nice to have a filbert brush. That's your filbert right there. And an angular brush. You can have different sizes if you like. And I don't know what happened to that poor little thing. And a nice synthetic. These are about a size 12. I got 11 by 14 canvas, so that should be big enough. And some small round brushes, okay? And if we need more brushes, we certainly will get those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the background with some burnt sienna and burnt umber. And then we're going to have the bottom part here black for the table. So I might tape that off so we'll have an idea where to put the black. So I would say that we will come up about 1/3 of the way. So we got 1, 2, 3. All right. Should do it. And 1/3 of the way, it's about here. I want to have lots of room for the jug and flowers. Okay. So dip your brush in some water. I just have a jug here, see? I just dip my brush in some water. And I will tap it off my tissue. And then I'm going to start off with, actually, I'm going to wet my brush. And there's a little bit of a drip there. It's wet. And what I want to do is, I'm going to go into burnt umber right now. And I'm going to do the edges first. Oh, look how pretty that is. Oh, wow. Gorgeous. I'm just putting that on there. You can do the sides also. While you're at it, you might as well do the sides. That's pretty. And we'll do another side over here. Now this may not be exactly the same as the picture, but I like doing things my way. So you do whatever you want. I'll just give you some guidance, that's all. Now I'm going to add some burnt sienna. So you see it's brighter. I'm going to add more water to my brush. I'm not going to, let it drip. I'm going to make it really watery. Look, yeah, there we go. That's nice. Now I didn't want to use magic white because I want this to dry fast. And I'm going to take that, and I'm also going to add a little bit of yellow. I'm just going to add a bit of Naples yellow. Okay? Just playing around with some colors. It's fun when you do that. I'm going to add more water. Now you can mist it if you like. You can mist it with some magic mist. That way it won't stay wet too long, but it'll make it smooth. It'll make it blend smoothly. There we go. So I have the recipe for magic mist. Probably will need something because water dries really fast, so probably the magic mist might help. And because we want to keep those colors, so I'm going to add more yellow. That's kind of nice, isn't it? See, when I added that was starting to dry there now, so it's hard to get it to move. So you got to catch it before it dries. Either keep misting it with water or get some magic mist. The recipe I have is in the description, and so you can go make some before you get started. Alright, perfect. I like the yellows there, isn't that nice? I know it's not exactly the same as the picture, but I want to do it my way. I think this is pretty like this, do you? You know what might be nice in here? Some green. Kind of got a greenish tint to it, do you think? Let's try it anyway. I'll try the lighter green here. Oh, yes, nice. I like that darkness over here, that's nice. A little bit of greenish color. More yellow. Love the yellow. Look at that. Gives it, because that's some lights in the back, right? That's lights behind the flowers. So no need to blend it completely. Just boom. When you get it on there, just kind of let it sit there. Use your different yellows, whatever color yellows you want. Look at that. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous. How much fun you can have though, isn't it, when you don't worry about it? When you don't worry about... You can make an abstract just by putting on paint like this. Just letting it... Now I'm not pushing very hard this time. I like that as it is, you know. I kind of like it. I like it as it is. I like it. I think I'm going to leave that. I know, like I said, it's different than what I see on the reference photo, but as you know, I don't go by reference photos exactly. So then I can loosen up and do whatever I want to do. But it helps me so much. Reference photos helps me a lot. Because I don't have to be trying to think in my mind, what color will I do that? Will that look nice? There we go. Now down here, take the tape off. And we will paint that pure black. Because there's going to be a table there. It's going to be a shiny table there. But we have to put something on. So you use the same brush. And get your pure black. Any color black. Any color black. Well, you know what I mean. It can be Mars black, oxidized black. Whatever black you got on hand. Just plain black. No, I'm not gonna, I don't think I need to mist. There's only a small area down here. I'll mist it a little bit just so I can get that to move there. A little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Moves so much better. That you can use water. It's okay. I'm just grabbing what I got handy there now, which was the magic mist, and it did help a lot. Do your sides if you like. Just get underneath here. use your chiseled edge to get under here. Get as close as you can, and then just use your chiseled edge to get underneath that line there. Doesn't matter too much because you can blend that right together. See? That way it'll be like a shadow. But we do know need to know where the table is. So I'm just going to drag that over there like that. Give it kind of a shadowy look. Good. Print. Okay, so here's what I did. I printed off the picture of the flowers in the vase with the fruit on my 8.5 by 11 printer. So now I have, this is 11 by 14, which is a bit bigger. So you can do it like that too if you want. If you want to have it like that, it's fine. But I might want mine a bit bigger. But in order for me to transfer this onto this without tracing it, well, if you want to draw it, then you take a ruler and you measure half, all right? So you cut it in half there, and you cut it in half here. So you just measure your 8.5 or 8 by 10 if you want. 8 by 10, so say if that's 10, then you go 5 would be halfway, and 8 would be 4 would be halfway, okay? So if you could get that square there like that, you got 4 squares now, right? 4. So now you want to do that same thing on your canvas. You want to make 4 squares. Because the canvas is 11 by 14, okay? Because the canvas is 11 by 14, you might need a tape measure. So you need to get halfway over, and it's 12, so 6 is right here. That's half. That's the halfway mark, so that when you come down, then you know that you make your line down here and across here, okay? So then we have, comes up to 15. It's 11 by 16, right? So you find 8, and you mark that off. All right, now, all we have to do is, so you know that's halfway there, right? So that's the line going across, and hopefully this is not too hard. So, and that's your halfway point right here. Okay, so make your line going down. If you're off a little bit, it won't be too big a deal because you can fill everything in as you go along, but you got a little window here now. And in every little window is the parts that you will draw. So let's try a little bit, just with chalk, all right? Now you need something that you're going to pastel or something that will come off easy in case you make mistakes and things like that, okay? So let's just start with, like I said, don't have to be exact. I mean, you can do all kinds of measuring if you want. You can measure where the top is and everything like that. But I kind of want to do this almost like a freehand. All right, just give me some idea where everything is. So I'm going to say that the handle, this part, this side, this half of this, comes up to about here. Kind of eyeballing it. And it's going to come over to about here. So the beauty of this is you can change the shape, you can do anything you want. The only thing is you need those lines for is to help you lay that down on your canvas a little easier, okay? Because if you're doing it without the lines, you'll probably have an odd shape. So let's just say we have another shape here. So I just took it over to both lines, try to make them even, and then I came down and made it nice and wide here, because I want it wider than what I see here. See, I can change it, right? So I want it nice and wide. So if you get, like I said, you're using chalk, so if you make a mess, just, there we go, see? So did I get it right? So we can adjust it when we paint it. It's coming along. Alright, and then it's got a handle. The handle is way up here, because you can see by the, it comes over here. And it ends up down halfway, around halfway. So you just kind of eyeball it, okay? And then it kind of bring it out on the end here. So I want it a bit bigger than what I see here. And it has these little ridges coming up like this. And then it's just like that. And up here we have some flowers. So we're just going to add in some flowers way up here. Okay, these are kind of roses. So we'll just make some shapes, alright? Just do 1, 2, 3 shapes up here. You can see, just put in some shapes for now. We won't worry. What we're trying to do is just figure out where we want the flowers or where they belong. Okay? So I'm just kind of working in some shapes here to make it look like it might be flowers. Alright, so it could be a flower there, and then there's a bunch around them. Alright, so that's that one. And the other half of this one's over here. Right, see? And we have a flower here. And some shapes here. Alright, so just make little squiggly lines for now, and then we'll figure out where everything goes after that. Alright. This one here is hanging down. There we go. It's not too far out, but it's out a bit. This one here is out a bit. Yep. So we just put little squiggly lines in where we think the flowers may be. This one here is higher than this one, so we'll keep that one lower. So you got the flowers in there now. It's nice. And then down here we have, you know, our grapes and things, right? Now, if you don't want to put all this stuff in, you don't have to. That comes up to about this. It's just a round circle. So I was going to say the bottom of the table, sitting on the table. Okay, so then we're going to make some grapes. Just make little round circles for now. See, we're just placing things, basically. And then so you can have an apple here if you rather. I'm just going to put what's there. And some more grapes over here. So just put in what you see. There's a couple of different grapes. There's one coming, a stem coming up here, and there's a stem coming out with more grapes. And there's all kinds of grapes. So just put in little circles. Alright. And then we have some fruit or something over here. So on the edge here, there's a little decoration. And then you got some more of these cantaloupes, whatever they are. Alright. So just the letter V, upside down V's. And then you have a round object here. And so just fill in little spots like that, see? Now, we got it all drawn. What do you think of that? So now what you're going to do is you are going to wipe away those marks here. Okay? So you can take them out now. Now, there are some decorations on this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the vase first before I go ahead and put those other little flowers on there. That would be a lot easier. So let's do that. Let's get a nice yellow color. So for now I'm going to use Naples yellow. I'm going to try that. Like, I don't know for sure how I'm going to match up those colors, but I'm going to use Naples yellow first because we're going to put shadows and everything in there, okay? So just want to, this will help us see the shape too. I know over here is a big dark shadow, but you have to have some kind of an underpainting, all right? So put something there, some yellow. Doesn't matter if it's darker yellow or lighter yellow, as long as you put a yellow. Some underpainting under. You can put whatever color you want actually, but I like to put on the color I'm going to use. So I'm going to put on my Naples yellow. And it's pretty transparent, as you can see. But I just want something on there. And you can put any color there, but make sure it's a light color. I mean, you could even start with white if you want to. Alright, anything bright. Or even I don't know, darker yellow maybe. I don't know, but just put something on there that you're happy with. I might go over that line. I'm not going to worry, but I'll put the stem on after. And I'm going to try to go with the shape of the vase. Okay, so if I'll come down and then come around. Just to get that feeling of shape. Alright. So it looks pretty bright on your end there. I may have to fiddle around with the color because I didn't practice this one. I didn't practice it. I've been doing my paintings like we do them together. Okay? We do them together. We learn together. Yeah, really. And so that way you can see the mistakes or whatever you know, and you'll see that. Because you may see some videos and it comes out amazingly perfect and kind of makes you feel like I'll never be able to do that. That looks too good. I won't be able to do it. But if you see the artist struggle and you realize that it's all part of painting, the struggles of what colors to use. I mean, I know when I was first learning, I'd see a video and I'm like, how do they know what color to use? And they put on the perfect color right away, and I didn't realize in the background that they were mixing the colors for probably an hour before they actually did the video. So don't get too caught up in thinking when you see a video and it's perfect looking that they didn't struggle behind the scenes. So I'm just going to try a yellow medium, which is a bit darker than what I already put on, okay? So try your different colors. It's got kind of a bit of an orangey color to it. Nice. Nice. Now, like I said, we don't have to be exactly the same as the reference photo, because you might have a hard time. You may spend many hours trying to. Now, if you want to do that, you're certainly welcome. I'm doing a video, so I won't take as much time. Usually, on the end of my videos, I will play around with the video, some of my paintings, and I won't. I'll probably do them on a time lapse or something like that, just so that you can see the few extras that I did. So sometimes I do a fiddle around with it at the end and I forget to record it and I didn't get to show it to you, but some I do have. Sometimes I'll spend lots of time in the end because I don't want to bore you, But I will put, if I do any extras, I'll put it on the end of the video and you can watch it if you want. Okay, so that's nice. That's nice. Now it's good to have the lighter color underneath because that will make the colors on top more bright, okay? You might say, well, why did you put on that lighter color? You could even use white. Anything nice and bright. If you use a dark color, just do it on the edges so you won't lose. Because once you do a dark color, what's going to happen is your colors won't be as bright. Now, the color that I'm seeing on my video camera is really bright yellow, but in actual here in my studio, it looks more of an orangey yellow color. So don't always go by the colors you see on the videos also. That's another tip for you, okay? Don't always go by the colors you see. Now I know some will look beautiful, but the video cameras and the recording sometimes change the colors. It depends on the setting that you have. Now I get another setting, but it might make them really dull looking. Let me try another setting. Now that's another setting that I have on my camera. See, it's more dull there now. I'll try another one. And this one here, seems to be a bit closer to what colors I'm using. A little closer, a little duller, but I can enhance the colors. But the worst thing is, you're seeing colors that I would enhance on my camera, and that's probably sometimes you'll see videos of beautiful, bright, brilliant colors, and it's a possibility that the camera is set to make it look like bright, brilliant colors. Because a lot of times when you record, depending on your lighting and your in your studio, that you can't get the colors you're looking for. I'm trying to get as close to the colors I'm using anyway. I'm going to add a little bit of, let me see, bright red, and I'm going to add a bit of burnt sienna. I'm going to make a shadow, okay? A little bit of red, burnt sienna. All right, a bit of burnt sienna and red. That'll make a nice shadow over here, see? Burnt sienna and red. Now, that to me looks like it's purple on my camera. So I'm going to change again. This one's not bad. Seems like it's pretty close to what I'm doing. Alright. Hopefully it's not too dark for you. Because a couple of paintings I did sometimes a little bit dark, and I don't want that to happen. That's nice, isn't it? Look. Nice. Nice. Okay, so I need a bit more darker over here. Not that dark, so I'm going to use burnt sienna. Just burnt sienna. Alright. So just burnt sienna this time. Let's see if I can get it a bit darker. Maybe I'll have to add a little bit of burnt umber. We'll see. That might do it. I really want to get the shadow over here because we're going to say the light is coming in from the left. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. It's nice. Alright, it's a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of burnt sienna. I want to make it really nice and dark over here. See how the reference photo can help? Because you know where to put the shadow. You know how much of a shadow you want. Nice and dark over here. Yeah, I like that. Burnt umber, burnt sienna. Alright, so more burnt, probably, just experiment with how much you want. Try burnt sienna first, and then that's not dark enough. Add some burnt umber in with it. Now you want that to gradually come out here. Because we don't want to align, we want to kind of graduate into each other, okay? It's kind of nice. When we put flowers there, that'll give us more shadows. It's kind of nice. We'll put some, you know, fruit down there. So it's kind of nice, isn't it? Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to clean my brush. Nice. So I'm going to try some more yellows. I'm just going to experiment with some different yellows. I got, just take out some, I like the Naples one for the light color, okay? The Naples yellow. It's kind of bright, it's not yellow, it's almost a creamish color, but it's nice. Creamy yellow or something. But see, it depends on your brand, right, of paint. So your brand of paint might be more lighter, it might be darker, I don't know, right? So I'm just going to put on, let's see what else we got here. Just experiment with your colors. Like I said, in the yellows first, okay? So I'm going to try that Naples, and I'm mixing in a little bit of darker yellow. I'm just kind of trying different yellows, all right? Because I want to also layer your paints. So you might need 3 or 4 coats. See, because you can see this here, you can see through it. It doesn't have that nice thick color. You want to blend those two colors together. You don't want those to make it look like there's a line there. So kind of go over that. If you go over too much, you can always go back and put some more in. Some more shadow. But see, look, you just go on the line, the two lines that meet. Just go on those and just sort of let them blend together. See how pretty that is? Now I'm trying to get this here to give me a thicker coat of yellows. So I'm trying some different yellows. Naples yellow and bright yellow, medium yellow. I want to make sure that it looks thick. And the only way you can do that is layer, 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 layer. Adding a bit of a lighter color over here, the Naples. If you don't have Naples yellow, just add a bit of white to your yellow. Or use a cream color. Not beige, but cream. And we have to get a feeling of shape. Now, the reason I'm having a hard time keeping it from looking transparent is because my background is really dark. So you could have did your background around after you put in your vase, but I would have found it very difficult. So we're just going to do this. It's a good way to learn different techniques that will work and some that won't. Like I said, you'll see some videos and you'll see that they're already, everything just seems to work perfect. And I've watched those videos and I tried to follow them when I was learning, and I got frustrated because I was like, how come I can't do that? Why is it they're doing so easy? Why did they make it look so easy? Right? So, like I said, they're probably practicing before they do it. Probably did 2 or 3 paintings. That's what Bob Ross did. He did 2 or 3 paintings before he even did his videos. Okay? So he knew exactly what he was doing. And even though he did 2 or 3 paintings, that don't mean they all came out exactly the same, but he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And it made it so much easier for him. So I could practice this before I do it, but I like to show you, you know, how I approach my painting. I can't show you how I approach my painting if I got it all worked out beforehand, because it's not new and fresh. I already know what I'm going to do. But this way, you can see the process of trial and error. So I'm going to get some darker yellow. I'm just going to throw in a little bit of that reddish that I got left over there. That was the burnt sienna and red, reddish color. I'm going to add some of that on here. That's starting to dry on me there now, so could have used magic white if you wanted to. I don't use it all the time. So just trying to get. All right, there we go. Add a little more red to my yellow. Try a little bit of an orangey color. Not too much of an orangey color, but just enough to get that shape. See how I'm getting a shape by curving it in? So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to, lost a bit of my shadow there, so you can always put it back. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to add more highlights and maybe a little more paint and see if we get that to come out, and then we can put our other little design on it. Now that's really nice. So what I'm going to do is, I'm still using my brush, my synthetic chiseled edge brush, because it has a, see how thin it is? It's got a razor sharp edge. Ooh, and so I can use that for thin lines if I want. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use some of my white. I think I got enough there for now. I'm just going to, because we got to put design on there yet. So I'm just going to add some white. All right. Just going to add some white for, you know, for shine, right? The light is shining on it. See? I'm using titanium white because titanium white is the brightest white as far as I know. And it's a little more expensive, and it's really nice. And we might put some more highlight on it after we get some of our design on there. Alright, so far we'll just do this much. I think we got... See how nice those highlights really bring it out? It looks like there's a light shining on there. Anytime you make vases, apples, anything round, and you add these little highlights, glass, really gives it that nice bright, like there's a bright light shining on it, see? Nice. Now I'll put the, now I don't have this part up here done yet, so while we're at it, so I won't forget, just put a little line across there with your burnt umber. Use your chiseled edge, because this brush can do a lot of stuff. It can make straight lines. Alright, so let's just put one here. I'm going to put a line up here on top just so I can mark it off till I know where it is. And then I'm going to make my other line. And I'm just going to judge it. I'll come down here. And that's a line. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add white to that. Make sure your brush is clean, because now you got dark paint on it. Or change it to another brush. Alright, so you go into your white. And we'll put white here. Now there's going to be some shadow there too, because when the flowers go on there. leaves that like that. Good. Now while that's still a little bit wet, I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to smooth this line out here. Just going to go back over just so it's smooth out so it doesn't look too much like a line. It looks more like a shadow. That's better. That's better. I'm not worried about this one up here too much because the flowers are going to go over that. So maybe we should try a little design. I'm just going to use a long brush. Now you can use a small brush, round brush, anything that helps you get that on there, okay? So you can draw it out first with a piece of chalk maybe, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to use chalk. But I'm going to put some burnt umber on my brush. And I'm going to draw out, now doesn't have to be exactly the same as what you see on a reference photo, it can help you. Or you can make little designs, your own kind of designs. That will be fun. But I'm just going to go by what I have here. And I'm not going to worry about it being exactly the same. But it'll be a nice little guide. So I'm going to bring it in here like this and out. And there's another one here. And out. And then there's one coming out here. And then here. So that's some kind of little flower. Good. And then there's, get some more paint. And there's something coming out of there. Something weird. So just draw that out. I'm standing up, so I'm, you know, it's a little more difficult for me, but I'm just going to do that. And there's a little one coming out between that petal there. Cute little design. Alrighty then, so then we'll do another one. There's another one here somewhere, and there's a little, so just draw it out best way you can. Just look at the edge, don't look at the whole flower, look at the shape, just the outline. Okay, just the outline, right like that. It might make it a little bit easier for you. So when we put the color in that will be nice. And if you need to add a bit of water to your brush, you should do that. Alright, that'll help it move better. And we have another one here. Looks like something comes in here. Comes out and in this way. And then it comes up and down. And up and down, up and down, and a little petal here, little letter V's, I guess, if you want to do it that way. V, or just little petals. Alright, that's all. That's fine. And then you got that other one coming out. Good. And there's another one up here, but it's a darker one. That's okay. As you can see, I'm not really trying to have it exactly the same. Just kind of putting color in there just to get something going there. And there's one down here. Something going on down here. I can't really see it that well, but I'm gonna put a little flower, my own little flower there is fine. Alright, now we're going to fill it in with color. So I'm going to clean off my brush. You could use the same brush if you want, or you can use a small flat brush. Remember I said you might need different brushes, so always have some extra ones on hand, smaller ones, big ones, but I'm going to use my little round brush I was just using. See if I can use that. So I gotta use, so let's see, we need a red. So I'm going to find, let's see, got kind of an orangey red, so I'm going to take my, if you got a darker red, like a dark red or a crimson red, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to it. Alright, and that will change the color a little bit, and then we will fill it in. Now there's a flower coming down there, so we'll a leaf. So we can just fill that part in there. Good. It's not too hard, is it? I don't think, is it? Might look hard, but look, see little simple techniques you can use. I hope you guys try this. I'll leave some yellow there. And we got more. I'm just adding yellow and red together. Just red. It's a deep red. It's kind of a deeper red. Just taking, pulling back. I find that's giving me a little bit of a better shape. Just from the top, pull back in. Try that, right? Now you can try it your own way. Don't you have to do exactly everything that I do. But I'm just trying to guide you a little bit. But if you find an easier way, you go ahead. A little bit of yellow there, which I want to leave that. So if you take some yellow on one side of your brush and red on the other, then you'll get kind of like that, and then some yellows will come off as you play around with it. I don't need too much of this one. Okay. Yep, I think that's fine. And then I'm going to try this one here. So put some yellow on one side of your brush, that might be interesting, and red on the other. Just see what happens. I'm not sure what's going on there, I'm just throwing in something. Just some yellow going on there, but I'm going to have to make it up on my own, because sometimes reference photos can be a little confusing, so just make up your own. I'm just I'm pulling back on this one here, but I'm leaving some yellow at the back there. I'm going to add some burnt umber to that for this stem here. Where's the stem gone? Right here. I'm just going to bring that around here. Then I'm going to add yellow. So clean off your brush and get some yellow. Alright, you can see I put a lot on there. It helps when you know how much paint to put on. And I think I will add some white. Brighten up a bit. That's good. This here's got some green or something in there. Got some yellows, and we'll see now. Let's get to... Let's get our red back. Our red and yellow. Okay. And we'll do a little bit down here. I'm starting at the out and pulling back in. I just find this gives me better, a better look to it, because I can save some of my yellow then. I don't know, you know, if you pull back out is good too, but I'm just trying this way. See if I can get you to see that. See, that way I can kind of leave some yellow there. Right? And we have another one up here that has a darker color. I'm going to add some burnt umber to my red so that I can have that dark color there. I'm just going to fill that in. See if I can get a little bit of a shape. And this one here, burnt umber and red. You still want to be able to see it, right? But it's in shadow, see? And it seems it has some yellow on the ends there. So I'm going to add a bit of white to my yellow. I'm going to use I think I'm going to use this one here, nice bright yellow that I have, that cream color. Really like that. And I'm going to put that on the edges here. Okay. A little more white if you need it. And brings it out nicely, doesn't it? It's kind of nice. Is there any more lights like that? I don't see any. Let's see a little bit of highlight on this one here. I do see, I'm going to put a bit of white. I do see a little bit of a light color here. I haven't got that one filled in yet, sure. That's green, right? So let's go with some green. Whatever green you got there is fine. The brush is a bit dirty, but that's okay. So we got some green. Pull that green in there. And it ends out with kind of an orangey color, so dirty brush. Some yellow. So I'm just trying to shape it up as I'm going along here, because I wasn't sure if I liked the shape or not. So that's okay. And I'm going to add some white again to the back here. And I'm going to kind of a greenish color up here. Now, this don't have to be the final, okay? So if you are, when you go back, when it's almost all finished, when it's finished, let's say when it's finished, just go back and look at your flowers and look at different things that you're doing and see if you like it. If you don't like it, go back over it. If you think it needs an extra layer of paint or an extra highlight or whatever, you can do that at the very end, because that way you'll be able to see it all together and you'll be able to see what extras it needs. So I've got green out here and a little bit in here, and I'm going to go and transfer to yellow because that's what it looks like. It's got yellow going. I'm starting and pulling in towards the green. Pulling in towards the green. Alright. A little bit more yellow and white. There we go. There we go. I lost my shape there, but that's okay. Alrighty then. And it looks like it might be lined with a bit of a dark shadow here, right here. A little bit here so we can see. Some of these have a little bit of a dark outline. Kind of nice because you can see it better. You can get fix the shape up too if you need to, right? Just put a little bit burnt umber on the edges here. See? Kind of gives it a finishing touch. So when you're painting, look for all these little details. That way you can fix up the shape. Then if it doesn't look right, you know. I think. Makes them stand out a bit more, doesn't it? You want to overdo it. So that's nice, isn't it? I think I got them all. I think I got them all. Let's see, they look like there was a little... That's alright. Alright, good. So now I can do the... So now let's try the some of the roses. So let's see. You want a center. You want some of the roses to have shadows. Not too much, but you want some shadows. This darker down here, so we can just kind of make a shadow color in here. This one here has a lot of shadow. I'm just using a purple. You can use a deep purple, like you can use blue and red and make a nice dark purple. So I'm just trying to get some kind of a shadowy color here. And on the edge over here. It's pretty dark over here. It's almost, I think I'm going to add a bit of burnt umber to that. Because our background's pretty dark too, right? So that's fine. So we'll just go along as we go along and see what we can do. Just making some shadows. Not going to worry too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to take, now I'm using an angular brush. You can use a filbert. You can use a flat, whatever, you know, whatever is good for you. So let's go with some red color. Any red color. I'm just using a magenta. And I might, you know, I'll probably brighten it up because the flowers look pretty bright in the picture there. So I'm going to say there's a flower here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a circle. I don't know, let's see, backward C. backwards C, like, or you can make, you know what, we can make a whole circle. That's what we'll do. We'll make a whole circle, and then we can go from there. There we go, just fill it in. And then we'll decide what way we want it, all right? So then you're going to get a brighter red by adding some white, yellow to your red. Brighten it up. And then we're going to just go make these streaks like that. So backward C, forward C. So I'm going to have to go with some white to get it right, get it really bright, with a bit of yellow. We might have to let that dry also, right? Forward C, forward C, forward C, and your brush it, and then the backward C. Backward C and forward C. I don't know how to make C. See? And we may have to fix it up after, but I'm just going to, I need to put something in just to see what it's going to look like, but I can fix it up after. I'm not really worried about that right now. So get some different color reds. I'm going to add a bit of yellow to my red to get it kind of an orangey color, and I'm going to put another rose right here. So we'll just put a little, there we go, and then we'll just take some white and some yellow, and we'll add some backward C and forward C's. This will be easier for you and for me. Okay, let's get some more on the go here. See, there's one there, and there's another one here. All right, good. And then we will get some orangey color, a nice bright yellow, because where this is still wet, it'll just put some backward C's in there, and then a forward C's. Just for now, until we decide what we're going to do, okay? And there's another one right here. Good. Take a lighter color, and we will get those nice backward C's. A little bit up here. Because it's all wet, it's all going to blend together, so when that dries we can do our highlights, and we'll put the lights where we want them and the darks where we want them. But right now we just need to get something going on here. So we got some more flowers here. You can make different colors if you want. You know, you can make different color reds. Good. Then you can take your white and yellows, bring down some of these. Just so we can separate the flowers, because they're probably going to be a different shape by the time we're finished with this. So I'm just doing little C, backward C's and forward. Because it's wet, it may not, right? It may just blend in with it. So don't worry, just let it dry if you want, and then go back and do that. But we got to get the better shapes now. This is just getting it started, see? The big one up here. Then we will go to lighter yellows and white and some of these petals here. Just using the edge to make these little, right, just for now. Now you might say, well, that don't look like a rose, that looks weird. But I'm trying to show you that you got to start somewhere, because it can be very confusing. So always think shapes and then deal with the details last. Shapes first and then details last, all right? As you can see, I'm just throwing in these edges here like this on the very sharp end of my brush, okay? You see I'm using a chiseled edge. This one here comes in this way. Alright, and I got another one. So I'm using a chiseled edge to get some of these shapes, alright? So make some of the petals bigger if there's too much space in between them. Good. Just picking up some yellows. Just tap on anything at all just to get something there. As you can see, at least now we know where the flowers are, right? So you know where the flowers are now. You can change the shapes. You can do anything with them now once you get this much done. Right? You can even take some of that out if you don't like. You know what I mean? Like you can change it up. This is not written in stone. Alright, I'm just putting in some of these little petals just to give it some shape. Alright. This one here needs a bit more. See what I'm saying? I'm just picking it as I go along. Good. Just playing. That's not what I want yet. It's definitely not what I want yet. See, this helps me get some shapes. Now, wonder. Does that look even? Do you think we need more? I'm thinking I might put one over here, even though it's not in the picture, but I don't know, it seems like it needs something over here. I'm just going to put a little one over here, just to get kind of fill it in a bit, I think. This one here. Kind of find some shadows. So with the same brush, dip into some green. Let's get some green. use that pointy edge to, I think I'll do it over here. All right. So that's one right there, that's nice. There should be another one here. You can touch the pointy edge, chiseled edge, and the angular edge, and just touch and pull back. Made a nice one there. And maybe another one here. I want to get that hand done first. And then you can add a lighter green. Maybe add some yellow to your green. Right? Add some yellow to your green. And then you can pull back in some yellows. Oops. It's okay. Nice bright yellows too. Because where it's wet, you're probably gonna, you can let these dry and then do this highlights after if you like. There we go. So now we have a little one over here in the corner, so we're going to pull back some light colors on that too. So we're going to go with a light green. Some green with some white is good, or yellow. I like the white because it kind of gets it, stands out more. So you can change the shape when you do that. Need a little more green back there. Kind of missed. Alright, some shadowy color. And a little more. It's better. It's got a bit of a shape there now, see? Always look for shapes. So now we need to do, I'm going to do the handle this time. Let's try using our filbert this time. You can use a flat or an angular, it's up to you. But they're the best ones. Like I wouldn't use a bristle brush, you know, big bristle brush or anything like that. But I'm going to put on that handle a pure white, nice titanium white. If you don't have titanium, if you don't have titanium white, then use whatever white you got, but you just might need to add a couple extra coats, okay? Even I need some extra coats because the background is dark, see? So we'll continue around that corner. Go right into the chalk. I hope that helps you, you know, using that little grid. Because you can do that with any painting, any drawing. Like you print off whatever you're doing, and it could be a landscape, it could be anything, and you can make those squares and just draw what's in the squares with some chalk or even pastel, you know, something that will easily come off watercolor pencils are nice to work with. Something that will come off if you make a mistake or you don't like what you see, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to bring that in here. These sort of fancy handles. Shadows coming down there, so I'm going to darken it up now in a little while. See, I'm using my round filbert to get those little round tops there. Okay, so it's definitely going to need another coat of white. Now you don't have to go right out into the chalk if you see that you like the shape, because I think I made mine a bit too thick. So I'll just leave some of that out. And on the top here there's some darker color. There we go. That looks good. It looks nice. The piece that goes here, this white. I kind of flipped my brush, like instead of doing it that way, instead of doing that, although you could, I suppose. I kind of flipped it this way to see if I could get that, have more control over that top part of it, so I could have it a little pointier. So that's that. Let's see what else. That's that. Try and let that dry a little bit so I can put a second coat on there. So up on top is kind of a greenish color, kind of a nice dark green. So I'm going to add a bit of blue to my green. And what other color? I don't know. Let's see. Kind of burnt umber maybe. A little bit of burnt umber. Burnt umber or burnt sienna, or just not sure. Doesn't matter, you know, doesn't have to be exactly the same color. One of these days we will do a video where we'll take a picture and we'll try to match the colors exactly. Should be fun. So there's this greenish color up here. I'll put a nice leaf down over that now so we can cover up our mistakes. Yeah. That has a bit of white highlight on it too. I'm not sure. Put an edge on it here. Put a little edge on it just to get it to roll a little bit on the edge here. Give it a round look. And a little bit of shadow down here. It doesn't show it in the a reference photo that much, but I'm kind of guessing. Let's see. Seems to be a little bit on that edge there. Just going to add a little bit of, let's see, maybe a bit of yellow. Just kind of mixing up some yellows there just to see what I like. Not sure. Just kind of edge that little edge there. Kind of scratching it on a little bit. Don't want it too smooth. It goes in here. Kind of goes into that white a little bit. Not really sure I got that done properly or not, but I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. I just want to get something, because if I don't know what I'm where to go with it, then I'm going to be frustrated because I won't know where to go. And so rather than stop and not know where to go, I would rather do something. Rather do something than nothing. Not really sure what the edge of that looks like by the reference photo. I have to make it up as we go along. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight or yellow or something there just to give it an edge. Just kind of see what happens when you layer your paint. Do you see that? If I had just leave that green, it just wouldn't be interesting, would it? You know, so you layer colors over colors, as long as you can see all the other colors too now. But if you layer colors on top of colors, it really makes it interesting. It makes it very interesting. Just add a bit of white highlight here. Alright. It was coming along nicely though, isn't it? I don't know, I think it is. Just throwing in a little bit of white there to bring it back a little bit. So you can fiddle with it. We'll fiddle with it later. Just want to get something ready to go. Alright, so that's that, and that, and that. A little bit more. All right, now I was going to add a leaf over here, wasn't I? A leaf. Let's add a nice green leaf. So put green on one side, nice dark green. Add a little bit of blue or burnt umber to your green. Darken it up a bit. Burnt umber looks nice. Even a purple or so, you know, purple is nice, really nice in the green. Gives it a beautiful color. Where are you? I can't find you. Goodness gracious. So that's a nice one. And I'm going to add a little bit of a... So I already have one right here. I just want to add an extra one. I got my filbert brush, so I'm just going to touch on the chiseled edge and pull down and lift up so I can get that nice. And then I'm going to add a little bit of yellow for a highlight. Let's see how I leave some of the green coming through. So I just want to add a glaze. I'm not going to add that thick color, but see, I got the red and the blue. A little bit of burnt umber. See how dark it is? So I'm going to take my dirty brush and I'm going to dip it in water. I put it in water and see how it's all watery? So I'm going to use that for a glaze. So I'm going to tap some of that off into a tissue. And then I'm going to use that for here. I still want to be able to see through it, see? So I'm just going to have a little bit of a shadow. There we go, it's my shadow. Wipe off some more. I don't want it too thick. Take my brush and I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to, because there's hardly any paint on it. There might be a little bit on there, which is fine because I want to get the illusion of some shadow. See that? Kind of gives you an idea, a feeling that the shadow is coming from the flowers. I'm going to pick up a little bit more because I need it a little darker up here. Right, see that? Maybe a little bit up here too. But you can still see through it. See, this is what I like. Right, you can still see your work underneath it. That's what you want. That's what you call a glaze. See how I can still see the area that I made here? Just trying to give it some, little bit of shadowy look. I don't like too much shadow there, so I'm going to wipe some of that off. I just cleaned off my brush. I'm just going to rub it in with my finger because I find a little bit too much there. That's better. That's better. I got a little bit of an edge here. I don't like that. Some of that off. You can use tissue if you don't want to use your hands. I got some, I will show you. I got these gloves. I should be using them because you don't want to be getting these gloves here. I just got them at the dollar store. But they're really nice because they're tight to your hand. Actually, I forgot about it. Look how nice and tight they are to your hand. So, you could use those to paint, right? And it wouldn't interfere with what you're doing. Kind of nice. I only got them at the dollar store. $1.99. I think that's where I got them at Piper's. Yeah. So they're vinyl gloves, multi-purpose is all it says, and it's a small medium. So I don't know, I'm not promoting anything. I just want to give you some little tips and tricks and things that you can buy and what would help you. I want to finish that white before I move too far. I'm going to put some more white on my brush and I'm going to clean this up here. Try to have a nice edge. I'll try. Now it's a painting, so if your lines are a little crooked or things are not perfect, not to worry. Because it's a painting. And if you look at even the most professional painting, if you look close enough, you'll be able to see certain brush strokes, certain ways things are, that not everything is not perfect. And what makes a painting so nice is the colors you use. I think most people are attracted to the colors. Not necessarily the picture itself. Get a bowl of fruit. It's a bowl of fruit, but the colors, if they're outstanding, then you'll love the colors and you'll love the painting. So I have a nice So we'll start the bottom part now. We'll just fill in colors down here. Okay, because these aren't, the flowers are not done yet, but the vase looks pretty good. I'm not too I don't think I need to go over too much more with that. I might, you know. But here's some red. I got from a bright red, and because the background is dark, you might need a couple of colors. All right. There we go. So we're not going to worry right now about, I'm going to do a second coat, but we're not going to worry too much right now about anything. So I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow to that. And I'm going to add this little thing here. Just at least give me some idea what I want to do with it. So you can see the background's coming through, right? So now I'm going to need a smaller brush. I'm going to take a smaller flat brush. And I'm going to pick up my green. You can pick up a dark green first if you want, just the same as your burnt umber, your green, and a bit of blue, just to get it started. So you can use that for shadows. And we'll paint this. Need a bit lighter so you can see it. Just get something in there. Okay. Like I said, just as long as you get some kind of shape in there, as close to the shape that you can see there. And then we have the red again. Or it's not really red, but I just want to put something in there because I'm not sure what I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. If there's a fruit or something that you're having a hard time with, just don't put it in, that's all. It'll be okay. And why make it frustrating and hard on yourself when you can just say, nah, I don't want to do that one. Right. So don't worry about it. Some grapes going on here. I'm not sure what's on that table. More grapes or something. Anyway, just a few little dabs or something there. Some white. Clean my brush. Clean my brush. You can pick up some white. And we got some of this white in here. That goes right around there. It's supposed to be white, not pink. But anyway. We'll always do our second coat. There we go. Some white in here too. Might have to wait for that to dry. And then we'll fill it in with those little black things over there. Oh, some kind of fruit or something. And now I'm going to fill in some grapes. So I think I will use a small round brush for grapes. Small round. Try whatever brush works for you, okay? Just trying to remember how to do grapes. So we'll just get a, let's see, that's the color. I'm going to use the red, and I'm going to add some blue to my red. Darken it up a bit, and I'm going to make some grapes. Just going to fill in like that, and then we'll highlight them after. Alright. Goes up and around the vase there. I'm going to get some reddish color, so I'm going to kind of just make these little circles. These little circles. Go into red this time, brighten it up a little bit. Okay, circles. I kind of like doing the backward C, forward C. Gives me kind of better shape, see? Here we go. We're doing okay. So far, it's coming along. I want to do a really good job on those roses. I think they'll be really pretty. I think that would be, you know, that will really make it stand out. I love the vase. I think we're doing okay with the vase. Okay, we got grapes everywhere. We have a little... We'll worry about that after. It's got a couple more red ones over here. Backward C, forward C. Backward C, forward C. Now we're going to go in with the green. There's a red grape down here. And then we'll go with the green. So let's change colors to green. And add a little bit of yellow to that green. I'm not fussy about that green color. Alright, so I'm going to use green. Backward C, forward C. C, forward C. Those chalk lines can come out after. So I got a couple of little ones down there. add a little bit of red because of shadow. Alright, so at least we got the colors on. I mean, you know, like, it's not going to be perfect right away, but the main things we got to do now. So I'd say we got the vase done. Let's say we got the vase done. I think we need some more grapes up around the vase there, do you? Looks like we might need another red one there. Not sure. There's a stem going out here, see? Looks like there's one coming off a stem here. The stem is there, there. Worry about the stems after. We got some red and some blue burnt umber to get that. Oh, I need to have more white than that. Let's see if I can get the white in here. It's better. That's better. So now I'm going to put some of that dark reddish, bluish color, whatever it is there, little cherries or something there. I'm just going to touch the corner of my brush, tap, 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 tap. What I did was I put some burnt umber on one side of my brush and red on the other. And then when you tap, you're going to get the two tones. Just tap, just touch so that you don't spread. All right. All right. Okay, and then more burnt umber for in here. Just tap it so it doesn't smear too much. I smeared a little bit there, but and those edges of that is going to be orange. That's it. So maybe just a little bit. You can look and see where the shadows are. Seems to be a little family of them over here. They come in little bunches. You notice that? See little bunches there? I'm going to add some burnt umber because I got lots of red there. And a little bunch up here. Kind of fill in the spaces a little bit. Good. Take that same brush So it's orangey color. So yellow, just yellow and red. And I'm going to see if I can get that little edge there. So you can see I got a fair bit of paint on my brush. So it'll come off, right? Because you don't want to be struggling. But just don't push too hard, that's the only thing. If you got lots of paint on your brush, you don't need to push very hard. Just kind of let it fall off the tip there. Not too bad. I don't know what's going on over there. I'm going to put a little edge on it. Alright. And I'll fix up the red in the back there. It looks kind of orangey, doesn't it? Kind of a lighter. Just mix some red and yellow. And. It's dark down there, so I don't want to leave that. I'm going to put some burnt umber down around here because I don't want it to stick out too much. So, it's in shadow. It's in shadow. I just want to give you a little tip. Always have a misting bottle, whether it's water in it or whether it's my recipe for magic mist. The magic mist will help keep your paint wet longer, a little longer than water. But I have a recipe in the description there for you. But have it handy so you can grab it whenever you want to. And that will really help because acrylic paints dry really fast. So you can take a small flat brush or a round and you can put some more paint here and just bring out those grapes a little more. So just give them a second coat basically. Okay, just give them a second coat. I'm kind of leaving a little bit of shadow on the bottom part of these, as you see. So I'm just adding a little bit of that bright red. So I'm going to have red grapes. I'm just adding a little bit of a second coat here. See, just go over it with the red. Alright, we got a red one down here. So we'll just deal with the red ones first. Alright, and then I'm going to give another coat to this here. Alright, Just make sure I got the shape correct. I'm just going to put that in there. Just a red color, that's all. See, it's the highlights and shadows that really bring out a color. So you put on the main color first, the basic color first, and then when you start putting your highlights and shadows on, that's what makes the big difference. Right? Alright, so we got our second coat on here. If you need 3 coats, that's fine. There we go. So you may have to play with them a little bit just to get the roundness and the second coat. And that's all, really. It's just filling in color. Now to bring them to life, we have to do our highlights. Alright? A little bit of shadow. I left some of the darker shadows there. If you lost your shadow, just put a little bit of blue or burnt umber or sienna or something in with your red. Darken it. Then you can put a little bit of a shadow in on the bottom parts there. Alright, but it's not really necessary. So once you get your highlights and that on, you'll see some shadows there. Alright, they look good so far. So we'll put a highlight on that now. So I'm just going to take the same brush and I'm going to take white. Now these are still wet. You're better off letting them dry. And put a line of white on top of one grape. Okay? And let it dry. So we'll do a line of white. Just a little bit of white on my brush. And I'm going to take that and put it on top, on the top part of that grape. See that? And then I'm going to make little circles. I'm going to move it down into the grape. And that gives it a nice little highlight there. See? Do another one. So we'll do a line of white. Just a little bit of white on my brush. And I'm going to take that and put it on top, on the top part of that grape. See that? And then I'm going to make little circles. I'm going to move it down into the grape. And that gives it a nice little highlight there. See? Do another one. So we're going to do the grapes, and we did our second coat, and I'm just trying a little bit of highlight there, but I want to show you what I'm doing. So I got a filbert brush. I tried a round brush, but the round brush wasn't doing what I wanted to do. So try different brushes. Put a little bit of white on your filbert. Wipe it off so there's not a big lot on there. And then take it and go on the very top of the grape. The very top of the grape. And if you pick up more white, just make sure you wipe it off because it can really get too much. And then scrub it in. So white on top. To get that little bit of white on top like that. Wipe it off and then you scrub it in. Okay, so you put white on your brush. It was too much. Wipe it off a little bit. Okay. You have to test it. And then put your little bit of white on top here like that. See? And then you wipe off your brush. And then you scrub it around. That'll be your highlight on your grape. See? So you wipe it off and then you scrub it in. Alright? That's what you do. Just scrub it in. Bring it down into the grape. And then we'll try another one. Let's see, one right here. So when you get to top, that will separate the grapes from each other. And then you wipe off your brush, and then you scrub that down into your grape. Okay? There we go, that looks better. Now just put the Q-tip. No, not a Q-tip. That looks better. Now, use a toothpick or the back of your brush or anything with a pointed edge and put on some more highlight, right? There we go. Try this one here. So we have a bit of a shadow. So we'll go with some red and a bit of blue. And maybe a little bit of burnt umber. Just to darken it up. Okay, get it darker, just for a shadow. We'll put a shadow over here. Might want a little bit darker, so I might add a little bit more blue. Probably a little bit under here. Shadow, and then I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to add some orangey color, yellow and some red. So make it more on the red side. And I'm going to put that here. I'll come on the top of that, pull down. That way I get to keep some of that reddish color there. It's kind of pink, isn't it? I'll add a bit of yellow. I like to have it a little more orangey up here. It's almost like a pumpkin, isn't it? But it's, there we go, it's a bit better. I'll bring it down to the sides. Then I'm going to clean off my brush. Clean it off really good. Because this is pretty wet there now, so I'm just going to smooth that in with the rest of it. Smooth it over to the dark side because I don't want it to be a line there. I want it to all sort of come together. That's better. I kind of like that, even though it's not the reference photo, it's not like that, but I kind of like it. I'm going to throw in a few highlights up here with the chisel edge of this filbert brush. Start at the top and bring it down. I'll wipe off my brush and I'm going to blend it a little bit. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that yellow again. No, I don't think I will. I'm going to take some white. I'm just going to add some highlights. Just on the chisel edge, you can pull in a few streaks of light right here. Good. We can always go back and fix that if we need to. I might add a little tiny bit of that white on the tip of here. It seems like the light is coming in through the left and it's hitting off of these edges here too. I get probably a little bit of light going in there too. I don't want to add too much to that one because it seems to be working pretty good, but I'm just going to add a little bit, just a little bit more light coming in here. Don't overdo it, guys, because I might tell you to do something and then if you like it the way it is, you can leave it alone. want to add a little tiny bit of light there because the light seems to be coming in from the left and it's hitting off all these things on this side. As you can see, I'm going to add a bit of white with a bit of green to really brighten up. I'm going to add some yellow and green, or just to see if I can brighten this up more. So I'm going to bring this in here, separate that from that by lightening up the top there. I'm just going to lighten the tops just for now, okay? So I might need to do a little more with that. And starting at the top and coming in helps separate those. Plus it'll keep some of your green. See how it separates them, gives them shape. Okay. Yeah, let's give them shape. It separates them, so alright, kind of like that because it kind of brings them out more. A little different than the, it is a little different than the reference photo, but that's okay. I'm just doing it my way, but yet you can see it's a good reference. The photo is really a good reference. So I'm going to put a little bit of burnt umber on the side of that. That kind of little shadow on there lifts it up a little bit. A little shadow on the edges of these will lift it up. Give it kind of a little bit of a 3D look. See? And scrub it in a little bit. See, it kind of lifts it. It lifts it off the page. And let's see what else we can do. So we got those grapes done. We have that done. Now we got the green grapes, and we're getting pretty close to finished. So when they dry, I'll take the chalk marks off. But right now, you want to get the green ones done. So we'll use the filbert again if you like, or whatever brush you decided to use. Alright, so we got more green, so I'm going to add a little more green. Some more green. I'm going to get a lighter green. I think I got a yellowish green. Would you believe? That's what it actually says. Look, yellowish green. Alright. So that yellowish green I'm going to put on these to bring them out more. It's a second coat. Alright, just go on the tops of the grapes. Now you may have to make that up because you got probably a mess there like I did, right? So what you're doing now is you're just picking out some grapes. So start at the tops of those grapes and pick the tops where you want a grape. See? Just pick the tops. Right, there's a top, there's a top. I'm kind of making it up as I go along, or kind of see what's there. Here's another one there. I'm going to wipe off my brush and scrub that in. Same as you did with the highlight. We're going to be putting highlights on this too. Wipe off your brush, it was too much. See, now at least you can see where the grapes are. there. That one there is kind of light, but I'm not going to worry too much. And there's another one here. Another one here. I might stick one there. Wherever you put that top, that'll be the top of the grape. Now when you put your highlight on, you'll be able to see it better. Okay, so now we put our highlight on. So put white. Wipe off your brush. So every time you go back, clean off your brush. So you got your white on top there now, okay? And then you wipe it off. Scrub. Good. And now, same thing. Put your toothpick and put some little bits of white down there just to give it a, like the light is shining on it. Some of those may be shadow, so you don't have to put it on everywhere if you don't want to. A little bit here, a little bit there. Everywhere. Right, I think that looks nice. Now we'll finish the table and the roses. So I think it's coming along. It's not too hard. It's not too bad. But as you can see, it's just shapes and 3 values. Alright, so we did our shadows and our medium and then our light. Right? Basically, that's all we did. And so filling in with color, very simple. And at least I tried to make it simple for you, so I don't know. I kind of like the roses like this. I really kind of like them. I don't know if you like them that way or not, but I like them that way. I'm going to add more strokes, and then that will be the roses. Yeah, I kind of like them the way they are. What do you think? So I'm just going to use my filbert to put on some, another coat on this one. I don't like that one, and I'm going to fix those up. So let's try that. So I'm going to put on some of my red paint with a little bit of blue. A little bit more. And then I'm going to fill that in there. Maybe a little bit more blue. Just want to get that kind of a shadowy color going on there too, you know. I'll just fill it in. I wasn't fussy about that. Just want to kind of make them more of an abstract, because to make roses, I mean, even in the reference photo you can see that they're, you know, you can barely see the way they are, but they're nice. So I'm going to take some yellow on my filbert, and we'll make the backward C and forward C. Just trying to see where it goes. kind of making these, trying to picture which way the flower is. It's kind of sitting upwards, more up there a bit more. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave a little bit of it darker. There we go. And then I will add a few more streaks of yellow. Just get those little edges there. Just use your chiseled edge to pick up some of these nice little trying to get a bit more shape. Just use your chisel edge to make these short little quick strokes. Pretend you're making a backward C. It's not too bad. Like I said, I don't want to... Let's see. A couple little short strokes here. So just use your chisel edge and kind of throw them in. Now you can make whatever kind of roses you want. You may not like these. Right? You may not like them, and I might want to change them again later. I don't know what I'm going to do for sure. I'm playing around with them right now. Let's see. I'm thinking, I just want to try something. So I'm going to put all that red on my brush, and on the corner of this brush, I'm going to put on the yellow. And I'm going to try this. Probably make some petals this way. Just put the yellow on the very edge of your brush. That way you can make a petal without making it too thick. Like I did there. So it's kind of nice, different. I don't know if that's, something you like, but I like it. So look, let's take the corner of a brush again. So put your red on first. Your dark red or bright red, doesn't matter. Just put it on first. Put the yellow on the very corner of your brush. So it looks like that. And lay your red down. Start off like you're going to go on the chiseled edge, but touch the red side down, touch and push and pull over, and it'll get that nice little petal, and refill. You have to refill a lot. And pull around, You get some nice little petals. You only need to refill the corner, okay? There we go, that's better. That's better. So you can leave them with the little strokes, or you can add a few of these petals. It's kind of nice. Like I said, if you're having a hard time doing this, just put those little strokes in that we did, okay? I'm just trying to show you some different ways. It's kind of nice. Let's try another one. I'll leave that one up there as nice. I'll leave that alone. Probably one down here. So we'll put the red on our brush first. And then we will put the yellow. Now I'm using that creamy yellow. You can use white if you want, whatever color you want. So let's pretend there's one. I see one right here. That's nice, isn't it? Then we'll put another petal here, here. You have to refill a lot. Almost after every second or third stroke. That's nice. Okay, cool. So, I'll leave that one alone. Let's see. This one here? What do you think? This one here, I think. Alright, so fill your brush up again. Yellow on the corner. Don't like the way that's shaped. So I'll just go like that. That's kind of nice. That one there needs a bit of work, so I'm just going to put on some, I'm just going to put on those little strokes like this. Okay, because we don't want to be all exactly the same or it'll get boring. So we'll just put on some of these little streaks. I'm just filling up my brush on the whole top and just making those short little boom, backward C, forward C. Alright, that's fine. And this one here I like to change. So just take your flat brush and clean it off really good so there's no paint on it. If these are dry, let's get rid of those. Hopefully they're dry because I don't want to smear my paint. Alright. So get rid of the chalk lines so you know where everything is and so you can see it better. Here we go, that's better. Now, so you see any chalk lines, just take them out. I think I got them all. I think. So what I want to do is I want to make a glare from the these as if they're sitting on a table. So I'm going to use some burnt umber for my red, right? So I can brighten it up a little bit. And we'll say that the table is here, so we'll just make kind of a use your chiseled edge to get that edge there. Just bring it out. It's like a table is there, see? You can barely see it. It's there. And here. Okay, so that's, and it's over here. Just kind of scrape it on there, just to. Okay, so now we need a reflection, right? I'm going to add a little bit of green. A little bit of green here. The grapes. Bit of yellow. Let's see. I'm just going to kind of make it look like it's a glare. That's too much there. Don't have to be too fussy here. Right. A little bit of maybe yellow. Just to give it kind of a bit, maybe light shining on it or something there. And just move it, shade it in a little bit. Really not much to do here. Good. Now I want to take this background and clean it up a little bit. I've got some burnt umber on my brush. I'm just going to scrape that on there and come up a little bit into the background. Just kind of I don't want to ruin that on myself. I think that's okay. So I don't know. Don't think I need much more of anything. Should do it. I think a little. I think that's it. No need to overdo it. Hey. All right. I'm just thinking a little bit of contrast, not in all the flowers, but just a little bit up in that corner. You see that up there, how bright it is? Kind of doesn't have any contrast. I'm not going to do much because I don't want to ruin it. I'm going to add a little bit of my dark, you know, the red with a bit of blue or burnt umber, burnt sienna. And just kind of darken up a little bit, I don't know. Just give it a little bit of a shadow color here, maybe. Just a little bit, not much. Kind of separate the flowers from the other one and give it a little bit of contrast. Like I said, not too much. I'm a bit nervous about playing around too much when I really like my painting, even though it might be the right thing to do. So I just want to give you a tip. If you really like your painting, don't play with it too much because, I don't know, You'd get disappointed if you ruin it, you know. So just want to add a little bit of, I'm just trying to get a little bit of contrast so make them stand out a bit more. I think that's it. I don't really need too much. What do you think? That brought them out a little bit more. Alright guys, I'm going to call that finished. I like it. Hope you like it. And so give it a try. I made it as easy as I could. And it looks pretty nice. I like it. Really nice. So that's it for now. And so you go ahead and do that and let me, I'd love to see your painting when it's finished. If you need any help, just email me, allisonprior@yahoo.com. So any help at all that you need, just email me and ask me any questions, because I really want you to do a good job. And that's it for now, so have a great day, and happy painting from Allison Prior. Bye for now.